Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. In today's video, I'm going to look at sleeping. First of all, I'm going to look at various ways in which I measure my own sleep. Then I'm going to see what I can find out by doing that. And then finally, I'm going to see whether I think you should analyze your own sleep. I'm making this video because, well, most videos take a little bit of effort to make. And I remember that old product design adage of designing something and making money while you sleep. And then I thought, maybe I could do that with videos, make a video while I'm sleeping. I thought I'd give it a go. I've been measuring my sleep for over a year and the metrics, but I've done nothing with them. So I thought, it's time to do something with the sleep metrics. So I tried to go to sleep for a week and see what I could find out. I have a lot of different devices, and in this particular experiment, I'm going to use 5 different devices. I'm going to use 3 watches: the Coros Pace 2, Apple Watch Series 6, Garmin Forerunner 55. They're the watches. Then I'm going to use a Withings sleep analyzer, which is one of these. It goes under your mattress and plugs into a USB outlet. And I'm going to use my own homegrown multi-sensor that measures sound, temperature, light, movement, and gives you real-time feedback. Yes, I'm going to use myself for a change. I have 3 watches and 2 wrists, so I had to rotate them. Typically, I wear this in bed for no apparent reason. It's just my regular running watch and I just keep it on. I take off the Apple to charge every night. But for this, one night I use this and a Garmin. And then another night, I think I use this and the Apple, etc., etc., etc. And every night I had the Withings under my bed. It only measures what's on top of the bed. So you presumably, but if there's you and another, well, it's not that kind of video. You need another channel for that. What you want to do is just, it measures whoever is on top of the mat. And the great advantage is you don't have to plug it in or do anything, or it's plugged in permanently through a USB onto a plug, and away you go. You just have to get on and it measures it. I also use my eyelids to control the sleeping. I use the old brain to try and assess how long it took me to fall asleep, whether the sleep was any good, whether I was dreaming, and then as soon as I heard the alarm go off, bang, out I got. And then I wrote down the results each morning to see how I thought my perception of my data ran against the data on all the other bonkers devices. Good sleep is critical to good training. You have to train yourself to sleep just as you have to train yourself to run if you want good performance. Ever since I opened my eyes, I realized that I quite like closing them again. I love sleeping. My mother said she took me home from the nursing home, put me to bed at night, and had to wake me up the following morning. I was a second child. She also said she'd kill my brother if she'd known, he was older than me, if she'd known what a child could sleep like through the night, she'd have murdered him. Anyway, I sleep quite well usually. I don't have any blinds, so it's just the same light that's out there really, and I don't need an alarm. I usually wake up well before the alarm. I decided for the purpose of this to use an alarm, go to bed exactly at 10:15, get out at exactly 6:15, which is 8 hours later, not to use any phones or electronic devices, not to take coffee after basically noon, and to avoid the old man napping in the afternoon, which I'd also be kind of a fan of. So they were the kind of general parameters. I tried to keep it consistent, at least in terms of hopping in and out of bed, and the general parameters, and then I changed a few things each day to see how that would affect things. So we'll have a look now at a couple of different screenshots that I've got of the Coros and the Garmin and the Withings to kind of see the kind of data you can get out of these devices. This is the Coros app from the 15th September, the 9th of the 14th into the 15th. You can see the deep sleep, the light sleep, the awake hours, which is 21 minutes, the total sleep, 7.5 hours, your heart rate range. And that's essentially what you can do. You can break it down, you can move across. But it's relatively limited in what it shows. And the Coros doesn't have a web app, you can only see it on the phone. So let's go and have a look at the Garmin. This is the Garmin of the same day. You've got 7 hours and 53 minutes. And it gives you a breakdown of deep, light, rapid eye movement, sleep or REM, and a wake time of 2 minutes. And it gives you again another bar chart. So again, limited data. You can also see this on the web because the Garmin also goes on the web. But we'll hop over and we'll have a look at the Withings data. I have a lot of Withings data and I look at it in their HealthMate app, which is really good. So these are kind of today's overall stuff, but we'll go into the sleep. And so what you can see is a sleep score for, say, last night. We'll go through this in more detail later on. But again, you got the same bars. But what you've got is you can drill down into the duration. So I hit the sweet spot according to this. The depth was good. Again, it drills down into deep, light, and REM sleep. It talks about the regularity, interruptions. I don't know what the interruption was last night. I have no idea, but I got some sort of interruption last night. And then it took me 17 minutes to sleep, and I got out of bed 0 minutes. In other words, the alarm went off and out I hopped. My average sleep heart rate was 50 beats per minute, so it tells you the same as the others. But it does give you sleep apnea. Now this is, there's more about sleep apnea. So one of the great things about Withings is you can deep down into this and it'll give you all sorts of symptoms and sleep tests and all sorts of stuff. But I suspect that if you had apnea, you'd notice a lot of other symptoms before you needed the Withings sleep map. And for some reason, I was snoring for 8 minutes last week. I didn't do any for the previous week, but for some reason, last night, it seems I was snoring for 8 minutes. I did 7 days of sleeping. I originally planned 3, but then as the week went on, I kind of varied it a bit. I tried nights with and without running. So, typically I don't run on a Monday or a Friday. I tried with and without alcohol. So I had a few events planned, a few other bits and bobs. I tried it with and without the alarm. I have a tremendous alarm for Saturday mornings called a dog. So if I don't get up, he soon lets me know. And then my sleep score got better as the week went on. I played around with it a bit, the kind of using the gamification. But let's have a look at the results day by day. Okay, so if you look at the first night, I got a sleep score of 91. That was Monday. I don't do any exercise on Monday. It scores as Tuesday because it's Monday into Tuesday. I don't do any exercise. I do exercise. I walk 10,000 steps, but I didn't run on Monday. So no vigorous exercise, got a 91 score. Following day, I did do vigorous exercise, but I also had 2 beers and had, so 93. Score goes up. Goes up the following day when I had vigorous exercise and no beer, so the score went up. Again, I'm going to bed at the same time each time. There was one interruption, which I think was noisy neighbors. Then the following night, it went down. Now, on the Thursday, I decided to continue the testing, but by going out, I went to bed at the same time, 10:15, but I decided to go with some friends. We had a big meal, had 3 or 4 beers, and a very nice salted caramel cocktail. One interruption, which is getting up to go to the toilet, I'm presuming. And then the following night, I had an even worse score. No alcohol, but there was no exercise. But it's really down to the fact that I didn't get much sleep because I had to stay up late to help a friend out. And so the net result was I didn't get as much sleep as I might like to have. And so I got a lower score. As it happened, the following morning, I used that other machine I have called the dog, who woke me up to get out. So I didn't sleep on or anything. And then I got 91 on the Saturday night, Sunday. But you can see a lot of interruptions. It's Saturday night. I live in the city. Lots of noise, so no amount of noise cancelling headphones stuck over my head and earplugs really stopped the interruptions. But it's still 91, better than the night before. On Sunday night, Monday morning, I hit 100, which is great. And I got to 100. I had 2 beers in the afternoon, but in reality, what had happened was that I ran for 3 hours. It was my longest run before running the marathon. So I ran for 3 hours and 30 kilometers, and I went to sleep. I actually had a man nap for 40 minutes or so. I just conked out and then got up when I woke up. And then I went to bed at the regular time, as far as I can remember. And but I got 100. But of course, you can't run 3 hours every day or 30 kilometers. But the gamification sort of worked. And it did work that I got to 100 by the end of the week. So you see a lot of data. Are the sleep sensors any use? Well, they're of limited use. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the gamification, but there was nothing that they really told me that I didn't already know. Now, if you have a serious sleep condition, you should see a health professional. But assuming that you have a regular sleep patterns and, you can not drink coffee, go to bed, don't use the phone in bed, etc., etc., etc. And see lots of advice online to do all that stuff, and I followed pretty much most of that. And yes, the sleep got better, but the best sleep I got was simply because I put out so much energy that day. I mean, that's going to help you sleep. I didn't feel, I mean, I knew I slept well that night. I knew I had a nap after my 30 whatever 30 kilometer 3 hour run. I had a quick nap before I went out. I knew that, but I think I could train myself with all of that without needing all these various devices. For 57 years, I slept on my stomach, which using my arm as a pillow, which apparently is quite good for breathing. And they've been doing some tests because of COVID. It's become back into prominence. But I did it, really enjoyed it. It's great not having to use a pillow. But in the last year, I developed a bad case of, I don't think there are any good cases of adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder. And essentially, I have limited movement in my left arm. You can see it in some of the videos. It kind of looks weird. It doesn't affect my running particularly. I don't notice, but you will see sort of odd arm movements. But essentially, I can do that, but I can only do that. Any higher, it's really sore. I can do that, but I can only do this. So I'm having physio and various things. But I couldn't sleep on my stomach because I can't raise to sleep on it. So I had to learn to sleep on my back. I watched a lot of, I really like Bob and Brad, the most famous physical therapists on the internet. I recommend them to all people. And I was discussing them with my sister, and she's a physiotherapist and she watches them. But they recommended I sleep on my back and arch my knees and put a pillow under them. And I trained myself to do that. It's really good. It's a really good method of sleeping. Should you analyze your sleep data? Well, I overanalyze everything, and even I don't go into the sleep data too much. I'd say keep a passing eye on it. You will, I think, have as good results as any of the watches, and even the mat. It'll tell you a little bit, but if you really needed that kind of level of information, you need to talk to a health professional. The short-term stuff, the dog barking, the neighbors, you had a few too many beers, kids, some stuff is unavoidable. You've got to get up early for work, or you got to travel, all that kind of stuff gets in the way. But if you can rest, it's great. If you rest well, you will perform well. Put another way, if you snooze, you cruise. And if you can't sleep, well, you could try watching this video a few times. That'll put you off. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. There'll be links to all the stuff in the description below. And as always, I'll happily answer any questions that pop up in the comments. There'll be a blue subscribe button popping up there and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep sleeping along.